violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, cyberspace? It's a Black Gen Z mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
For a group of bikers and ATV riders in Harlem after a road rage confrontation that cost a man his life. Good evening once again. I'm Maurice Dubois.
Welcome. I'm Cindy Hsu. Now police are looking for dozens of people who have been involved in the attack.
CBS 2's Natalie Dudridge spoke with the victim's grieving co-workers.
We called Arthur our gentle giant because he was 6'7", but he was so gentle and loving.
45-year-old Arthur Cooke's colleagues are still trying to come to terms with what they call his senseless murder.
Man, and this one is really tough. You have a genetically gifted brother who is working, doing the right thing, not out here being a super gremlin on demon time, just trying to make an honest living in Harlem, okay, which at one time was considered the Black Mecca of entertainment, of talent that comes out in the Black community, of literature, okay. Go back to the Harlem Renaissance. I mean, this is a historic city, and it just seems like it's being overshadowed by these super gremlins on demon time.
On November 4th, video shows a group of around 30 ATVs and dirt bikes driving on East 125th Street near 5th Avenue, where Cooke was driving his car with his girlfriend. Police say one of the riders struck Cooke's passenger side mirror, so he pulled over and got out of the car to check the damage.
So that's an issue. Getting out of the car, exiting your vehicle to check out the damage. I know that's just natural instinct, but when we're talking about these bikers, they don't move in a natural way. Guys, I even warned you about the biker boys in Miami. So imagine the biker boys in New York. Just imagine the biker boys in New York. If the biker boys in Miami, see, one time when I was in Miami, there was a biker boy, and he was doing wheelies and on South Beach through a basically super crowded walkway. He's doing wheelies and not paying attention where he's going, and like weaving in front of people, and like, you know how they get really close to people and then just weave out the way. So he was doing that. I was staying out the way. I was waiting in line to get some seafood or be seated at a seafood restaurant, and he's riding his bike doing the wheelie, and he just hits this woman who's in line waiting in the same line that I am. She was a few people in front of me in the queue, and she was injured, visibly injured, distraught. And guess what this little super gremlin said? He said, well, that's your fault because you shouldn't be drinking during the day. Mind you, it was 6 p.m. in the evening. So the woman had just got off of work, presumably, wanted to enjoy a evening out in the beautiful South Beach, and gets ran over by a biker boy who then blames the accident on her. See, you're dealing with these super teen gremlins who take no accountability for their actions. So if they do something to you, they're looking for you to apologize. And that's what makes running into these guys a lose-lose situation. These super teen gremlins are on demon time.
One of the men pointed a gun at him while the rest surrounded and beat him, leaving him clinging to life. Sources say the situation got even worse. After the attack, a homeless man not connected to the assault jumped in the victim's car and drove off.
Dang, and then the homeless man ran him for his whip. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. This is Harlem for you guys. The Black Mecca.
I can't believe it. I don't know how this could happen to somebody who was so loved in the community.
Cooke was rushed to the hospital with spinal injuries. His coworkers visited him the next day and thought he would pull through.
When I saw him, he was responsive. I told him, yo, Will, I'm here with you, my brother.
But this past Friday, he died of his injuries.
This broke my heart. All I think about is his son. He was a very loving father, very supportive.
Cooke had a 6-year-old boy. He served the Harlem community working at Exodus, a program that helps formerly incarcerated men and women get back on their feet.
And so there you have it. You're asking, why don't black men do the work? Why aren't black men out here, doing the work and trying to help their community? That's what he's doing. And then he gets killed for it. I'm telling you guys, the worst of us are taking out the best of us. There are no solutions because you do have black men who are trying to change things, like this brother William right here, and then brothers like me as well, making videos and exposing this mess. But what happens to guys like me? We get censored on social media. We get persecuted on social media. Our message is it's inhibited. We also get demonetized so that we can't reinvest the finances back into the channels to grow the message, to promote independent media. That's what happens when you try and fix what's going on in the community. So there are no solutions because the powers that be just won't allow it. Also, if you are a brother and you work directly in the community and you live in the community, you work in the community, you're working with kids from the community, you're within proximity to, get deleted. So that's also another reason why there's no solutions, because the super gremlins don't discriminate. They don't care that you work for Exodus trying to help ex-cons get their life back together in order. No, they don't care. They want to see everybody suffer as much as they're suffering internally. So what they do is they go victimize people. So the most pure, the most genuine guys in the community are getting deleted by the super gremlins on demon time.
His passion was going to the courts and speaking to judges, speaking to district attorneys and lawyers to give participants a second opportunity in life as exit.
Yeah, so I mean, it's super ironic because he was actually trying to help these super gremlins skirt accountability in some ways and present them other options, which I think can be a double-edged sword. I do think in some ways it's honorable, and then I do think in other ways it's contributing to the problem. Some of these guys, they deserve to sit down, and they need to sit down for a long time. And it seems like he was an advocate for these individuals, and these are the same individuals that ended up taking his life.
It escaped to him.
The center recently recognized him as a standout employee who came through the program himself.
I just want justice for him.
Friends are now hoping with the public's help, police will track down all of the people involved. In Harlem, Natalie Duddridge, CBS 2 News.
And police say they have identified the main suspect here, but they have not made an arrest.
Cameras capture a mob of ATV and dirt bikes aggressively racing east on 125th Street in East Harlem. Police say they surrounded Arthur Cooke, who was in his car with his girlfriend. When one of the riders struck his passenger side window, Cooke pulls over to inspect the damage, and that is when the group of about 30 people converged and beat him unconscious, one biker even wielding a gun.
He had the love and the passion to help everyone in the community, especially those people who were in need and who were in trouble and needed someone to be their voice.
The brutal assault was on November 4th, and 2 weeks later, the 47-year-old Cooke died from his injuries, but the suspects remain at large. Friends are grieving the loss of a man who, at 6'7", they describe as a gentle giant.
Very much devoted to his family. He would call his mother every morning and call her beautiful and talk about his work.
Having served time in prison, he was not only turning his life around, he devoted his life's work to keeping others out of jail. He was a court advocate for Exodus Transitional Community, an organization that helps people re-enter society and find jobs.
And I mean, the irony is just so crazy because these same guys that deleted him, he would have been willing to help them get reintegrated into society so that they don't recidivate. So it's a damn shame that we lost this brother. Obviously, he had made mistakes. He went through the program and it made him better, and he wanted to share his experience and save other brothers in the community, and it cost him his life, man.
Co-workers tell us the sad irony is Cooke would have been the first to help those who savagely attacked him and would have tried to de-escalate the situation given his training.
There's no telling what Arthur would have become, given the opportunity. And this is very sad. Exodus lost someone that they loved very much, and he was very important to our community.
Dirt bikes are illegal to drive on city streets. The Adams administration has been cracking down, seizing and destroying them. But it's too late for Arthur Cooke, and his loved ones are trying to come to terms with his senseless murder. He also leaves behind a 6-year-old son and family who will feel their loss this Thanksgiving.
Broke my heart. All I think about is his son. He was a very loving father, very supportive, hands-on dad. That was his pride and joy.
Yeah, and on top of all of this, as Cooke laid unconscious, another man unrelated to the gang of bikers, he came by, jumped in his car, and drove off. Now, that vehicle was recovered a short time later. Now, there also has been a GoFundMe that has been set up to help Cooke's family pay for his medical and now funeral expenses.
Yo, what's good, BGZM News 17 family? I'm at the corner of Jesse Jackson and Marcus Garvey, and I got some bad news for you. As you can see, I lost my job. I'm out here living in cardboard boxes outside of boarded up vacant homes. YouTube said I'm done getting money out here in these streets. They even took my funky ass suit. So anything right now would help. So go ahead and hit that Cash App, hit that PayPal, hit that GoFundMe. Hell, cop the merch. Or if you want to make the long-term commitment to the Jinquavius Jackson Fund, join the Patreon so that I can continue to put out top-notch content each and every day. Also, check out the Rumble, where there is absolutely no censorship. Link in the description box below.
Hey, yo, ain't that nigga Jinquavius? Yo, I recognize.
No, that's not me no more.
Hey, yo, run your property.
Y'all tell me what they say.
Do the opposite of Antonio Brown and take
What
over your
more
store.
do you want from me?
Man has died after getting brutally assaulted
She called.
by a gang of ATV and dirt bike riders earlier this month. 45-year-old Arthur Cooke suffered severe injuries to his neck and spine, dying in the hospital 2 weeks after the violent attack.
Fox 5's Ashley Rodriguez looks into his death and how the NYPD is patrolling those illegal drivers.
Good afternoon. My name is Arthur Cooke.
Police say a gang of 30 ATV and dirt bike riders beat 45-year-old Arthur Cooke so bad they killed him. The assault on November 4th happened on East 125th Street. Around 10 that night, one of the riders hit Cooke's passenger side mirror. He got out to survey the damage, and the riders attacked. Cooke, a father of a young child, would die from the injuries to his neck and spine 2 weeks later.
Wow.
We were devastated.
Cooke's death was unexpected, and his friends and co-workers at Exodus Transitional Community believe it was unprovoked.
I don't know how this could happen to somebody who was so loved in the community, how this could happen in this day and age where there's, so many cameras all over.
What do you mean how this could happen? This is happening every single day. What do you mean how could this happen? Why do these sisters seem so shocked? Makes no sense.
And people and police officers patrolling the area.
This summer, Mayor Eric Adams made a show of demolishing 92 illegal vehicles, vowing to step up enforcement after a father and son were attacked by a group on dirt bikes in Harlem back in March.
I am tired of these dirt bikes and three-wheelers.
Nearly 6 months later, as the NYPD looks for Cooke's murderers, I reached out for specifics. They responded, "The NYPD is aggressively pursuing every method to rid our streets of illegal dirt bikes and ATVs. That includes a shared effort by multiple bureaus."
And look, man, Mayor Eric Adams, this is on you. You said that you would change the culture of New York, especially when it comes to the criminal element. And we have not seen that. We haven't seen it. Haven't seen a lick of it. The same things are still going on in New York. They were going on before you came in. And this is all on your watch, bruh.
Towing the vehicles when they're parked and tracking them when residents report the mobs. This year, 30,000 drivers have been issued tickets, 3,000 motorcycles have been towed, and just under 10,000 dirt bikes and ATVs have been seized. If you've ever seen a gang of ATVs or dirt bikes going by, you're probably wondering, where are the cops? Well, the NYPD has a strict policy, and while their officers can stop illegal drivers, they have to first consider the safety of it. If the risk to the officer or the public outweighs the danger to the community, they have to let it go.
So there you have it. They pretty much have stand down orders if the riders get too rowdy, which makes no sense. Shouldn't you spring more into action the worse that they get?
They're all over the place, you know, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, you always see them. I hate it when when bad things happen to good people, you know, because he really didn't deserve that at all.
Ashley Rodriguez, Fox 5 News.
Horrifying road rage attack has ended with the victim passing away weeks after he was surrounded by dozens of ATVs.
It happened after a fender bender in Harlem earlier this month. Police say 45-year-old Arthur Cooke was on a date when the brutal attack happened. At least one person pulled a gun on him.
Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett live in Harlem with more. NJ.
That's right, Dave. This is where it happened. 125th Street near the corner of Madison Avenue here in Harlem. Yes, police say it was a gang assault on a crowded street. The suspects remain at large tonight as colleagues mourn the loss of a man they called a gentle giant.
Very much loved person here. We all loved him.
Carmen Arroyo is heartbroken tonight. Arthur Cooke was a good friend and a trusted colleague in the Harlem offices of Exodus, where he worked tirelessly to keep young men and women out of jail and off the streets. Yet Cooke would become a victim of the very people he was devoted to helping. He was driving east on 125th Street when he would be surrounded and attacked by men on dirt bikes and ATVs, brutally beaten and left unconscious after getting out of his car, which would be stolen as he lay bleeding on the sidewalk. Cooke would die 2 weeks later. Investigators say he did not know his attackers.
Wow, man. Insane.
He's our gentle giant. He was 6'7", but a person that was a de-escalator, not a person that was aggressive towards anybody. He was a mentor towards his participants and everybody that he knew and loved. So it just doesn't make sense. It hurt us to our hearts.
Dirt bikes and ATVs are illegal to drive on city streets. They are unregistered, their drivers are unlicensed and uninsured. For many New Yorkers, they contribute to a feeling of lawlessness in the city. Police have been cracking down in recent months, seizing and destroying thousands of them this year alone. Arthur Cooke was 45 years old and became a caseworker after spending 4 years in prison himself, working with mostly young people arrested or convicted of crimes to help them avoid jail through outreach and counseling.
And that was one of the things that he would always tell his participants, trust me, you don't want to go in there. You don't.
Yeah, man. And this is a guy who stands at 6'7", saying you don't want to go to prison. It ain't for the faint of heart. And I mean, this guy could have easily, defended himself, obviously not against the crowd of rowdy super gremlin ATV and bike riders, but he had the height, he had the physical build to be intimidating in prison. And he was telling others that, hey man, this ain't the way to go. I am proud that this brother was able to turn it around. I'm proud of the way that people speak about him, how highly people speak about him. I'm glad that he was given a second chance and he affected as many lives as he could. Prayers out to his family, especially his son. Okay? Leaving a son behind. Another young man who is going to grow up fatherless. Community, wake up.
Don't want to be another number. You know, come to us, we're going to help you. He knew them all by name. He knew the case. He knew who he was going to talk to. He knew what they were up against, and he was amazing.
Cooke was attacked on Friday, November 4th at about 10 p.m. What prompted the beating specifically is still not clear. Of course, anybody with information or video is urged tonight to call the NYPD.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.